right, folks, gather round for the tale of two Keirs. Yes, that's right. The same man who once defended peace activists in court is now defending weapons sales to countries accused of genocide. Welcome to Starmer v Starmer, where the only thing consistent is the backpedal. It turns out that back in the day, Starmer was the real deal. Human rights lawyer, director of public prosecutions, argued cases under the Genocide Convention, co-founded Doughty Street Chambers, helped challenge UK benefit cuts for asylum seekers, defended the McLibel campaigners. This man literally wrote the book on European human rights law. If you asked who's the one British politician who understands international law, the answer was Keir Starmer. But that was then. Today, Starmer leads a government that talks tough on human rights but acts like it's allergic to them. Gaza, silent. Protest rights, criminalised. Migration, Article 8 under review. Even senior lawyers were shocked when Starmer publicly criticised a judge for allowing Gazan refugees into the UK. Let's be clear, that decision was lawful under the European Convention, apparently. But Starmer called it a legal loophole. A former KC said it best, extraordinary. He knows better. How did the man who once called human rights about human dignity end up helping restrict them? According to insiders, Starmer governs like a technocrat, detail-obsessed, crisis-focused, and, here's the kicker, totally unwilling to take moral risks. He refused to call what's happening in Gaza a genocide. His government argues that the UK only has to act after genocide is proven, which, by the way, defeats the entire purpose of genocide prevention. Yes, Keir, let's wait until after the war crimes to act. Brilliant strategy. Labour's Gaza policy is a masterclass in moral hedging. On paper, they support the ICC. In practice, they sell weapons to Israel and downplay war crimes. When Foreign Secretary David Lammy said Israel had broken international law, he was forced to apologise. Starmer himself warned Netanyahu about suspending 30 arms licences out of 350. And F-35 parts still flowing. Why? Because apparently stopping sales to a country accused of genocide would threaten global peace and security. Because let's be honest, if Trump says jump, our government doesn't even ask how high. It just jumps. Starmer's transformation didn't happen overnight. In the 90s, he warned about relying too much on courts to deliver social change. By the 2000s, he was advising the state on how to make policing human rights compliant. By 2011, he was prosecuting rioters under full force of the law. Now he presides over a government that tells human rights groups to stop complaining and be grateful the Tories aren't in charge. Human rights used to be his language. Now his ministers avoid the phrase like it's got COVID. Amnesty, HRW, they all say Labour's tone is sterile, cold, politically calculated. Why? Because they're terrified of Reform UK? The Starmer strategy is simple. Don't say anything that could become a Farage soundbite, even if it means betraying the values that got you into politics in the first place. Earlier this year, a group of British Palestinians met Starmer. They asked for more aid to Gaza, for families to be reunited, for clarity, for courage. Starmer refused. At the end, a teenage girl stood up and said, "My ambition in life is to be a human rights lawyer like you." And I was very disappointed to hear what you just said. We expected more from you. And what did Starmer say? Nothing. He looked shocked, but said nothing. And that silence, more than anything, tells us exactly where he stands. Starmer's defenders will say this is strategy, pragmatism, holding the centre. But when your strategy means dodging genocide, vilifying protesters, and letting courts take the blame for your cowardice, you're not defending rights. You're dismantling them in a three-piece suit. If you want a government that actually stands up for British values and not just pretends to against opposition, share this video, hit subscribe, and let's keep calling it out. This is TruthCast UK, and we're not staying silent.